Hi everyone, good morning. 6 o'clock here on your Monday. It's President's Day. We're so glad you're joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Tim Pham. Well, we have a lot to get to on this Monday morning. You probably got a lot of snow over the weekend, so meteorologist Thomas Patrick here to break it all down for us. Thomas, the snow on pause here in Spokane, but south of Spokane, they're still getting some snow. Good morning.
Good morning. We're not quite finished with the snow just yet, Tim, but I made sure to do my fair share of shoveling yesterday, and if you did that, well, then you probably only have a little bit left over to shovel, especially on the Palouse, where that snow is still very much widespread as we look out towards Whitman County. So on Doppler radar, there is at least a batch of some little bit heavier snow, a little sliver, getting closer towards Cheney and Medical Lake. That would be like the farthest north that we've seen it so far this morning. But if you're driving along Highway 195 southward, you're basically driving through the snow all the way to Pullman. And all of this is likely going to amount to probably another inch of snow, maybe even more if it continues like this for several more hours. We are still under winter weather advisories until 10 o'clock this morning. Either way, if it's snowing or not, the road conditions are still poor, and while the interstates and the highways will be the first to improve, a lot of side streets are just going to remain extremely snowy for the rest of this morning. In addition, there are also dense fog advisories, so we're dealing with not only the snow, but even heavy fog and low visibilities on all the roadways. So it will make for a messy morning commute, and it will make it very slow for drivers.
Let's take you live outside to look at the traffic impact this morning. This is I-90 in Hamilton looking east right now. It looks like westbound traffic starting to pick up just a tad. Right now the roads are mainly just wet. There's not a lot of snow on the interstates and highways, which of course is good news. WashDOT has been out plowing for the last several days to make sure the road conditions are okay to drive on. But of course some areas may be still a little slick. So just keep that in mind and just take it easy. On Up with KREM, we bring you weather and traffic together every 30 minutes. This morning, the Washington State Patrol reminding people how to stay safe while driving in the snow. Make sure your car is prepared with winter tires, clear windshields, and an emergency kit. In that emergency kit, it can include items like a blanket, a winter jacket, water, snacks, gloves, hand warmers, and a flashlight. WSP also again reminding drivers to slow down.
And just take a deep breath and give yourself lots of time to get to where you're going.
If you find yourself in a crash or witnessing one, stay inside your vehicle while calling for help. Do not leave the vehicle unless absolutely necessary. So that advice coming from troopers after a Good Samaritan died on Friday after a crash on I-90 in Spokane Valley. WSP troopers say a man was trying to help with another person who crashed their vehicle when a person driving a third vehicle hit the back of his car, causing it to hit him. Troopers say he was taken to a hospital where he died. WSP believes drugs or alcohol were involved. This morning, we want to help you prepare for your morning commute. So we sent out our Brandon T. Jones and the KREM 2 Storm Tracker to give you some 360 views of road conditions throughout the inland Northwest. So Brandon, you were in the western part of Spokane County when we last checked in with you. Where are you now and what is it looking like? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Tim. Well, over there in those western portions of Spokane County, it was really foggy. We've made our way towards North Spokane now. Not those same type of conditions. A lot more visibility up here as we got a little bit further north. But we're on Division right now. And the one thing I do want to point out, and something we're going to be looking for throughout the entire morning, all of that snow that started to melt onto the roads, you got to keep an eye out on those areas because throughout the morning some of those spots could start to freeze up. We were on Garland before turning onto Division and saw a couple of areas that had that black ice, especially on those turning areas, just those roads that aren't necessarily or don't have as much traction on them. But right now we also want to take a look at some of those residential roads, some of the areas that aren't arterials, and you look at the difference just compared to what we were just on, and even just that turn right there was a little bit slippery. But you can see right here, this is Mayfair, just off of Division, and you can see the difference between the roads where there's a lot more snow packed on there. And even with crews coming out, or maybe you just look at all these cars that are snowed in. You're gonna have to take your time as you get out there on the mornings to shovel your way out of there. It's difficult to get out of there, and you can just see, oh, look at all that snow that's packed on top of it. Sometimes sometimes the cameras get a little bit foggy, but you can see right in front of us just how much snow is out here on the roads. Those are going to be your biggest issues as you head out for your morning commute. The arterials are looking good for the most part. I-90 is looking pretty decent as well, but again, those residential areas, lots of snow packed onto the road, so keep that in mind as you head out the doors this morning. For now, live in the Storm Tracker, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Good advice, Brandon. Thanks so much. It's time for your wake-up call now. We want to see your snow pictures. With all the snow we received over the last several days, we know you received probably a good amount, and we want to see what it looks like. Maybe you have a ruler and you want to show us how many inches you received, or maybe your animals were enjoying the snow like mine were. They get the zoomies whenever the snow comes out. It's so funny. But maybe you want to also just show us what the sunrise looks like later this morning. We'd love to see it. You can text in your photos at 509-448-2000 or use the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media, and you may see it here on the show. In our ongoing Boomtown coverage, we track the growth happening in our region. Marina 33 in Post Falls is looking to grow after the Idaho Department of Lands approved more than 100 new boat slips. One nearby business says they're excited for the project, while neighbors living on the river remain worried. On Friday, IDL approved Stancraft Company's expansion application for the marina, paving the way for more than 100 new boat slips to be added to the dock. Neighbors argue there is not enough room, while the manager of Sawmill Grill and Spirits says it's a nice surprise.
It's like Tetris leaving my dock right out here. I got to navigate very slowly to get through, and then once we get up and start getting up on the river, I mean, it's just rough.
We do get a lot of traffic off the water, and I think it will only bring more business to the area.
Reached out to Stancraft for comment on when the project would begin. They say they are not commenting at this time. IDL is allowing anyone against the development to file an extension. Those interested have 30 days to do so.
Fresh snow on the ground, and for some heavy fog in the air. We're also tracking low visibility for portions of Spokane and Lincoln County. Looks like Highway 2 getting the worst of it at the moment. Latest observation out at Spokane International Airport, 1/2 mile visibility. So certainly as you travel westward, even through the county, you're going to encounter more and more fog. As for all the general low visibility, especially as you see over southeastern Washington, that's less fog and more just active snowfall at the moment. And this snowfall, while moderate, can still continuously add probably another inch of snow by the time the morning is all said and done. So snow on the Palouse, fog for other areas, but by the afternoon things should quiet down quite a bit, and even temperatures could get above the freezing mark today.